Picture the scene. You are digging a hole in your garden on a lovely summer's day whereby you accidentally ram your spade through the main water pipe that feeds the house. After extensive research, you realise that you need a stopcock to fix it, and for that you need to take a trip to the hardware store. Since the front garden is rapidly filling with water, you don't care about finding the cheapest stopcock. You simply want to travel the least amount of time possible to obtain one. Ever wondered why when you drive around town you won't see a hardware store for a while and then you'll see two next to each other that sell very similar products? For instance, B&Q, Screwfix, Travis Perkins and Toolstation. This has always eluded me. Here are a few examples. This is Harold Hotelling. He wrote an article in 1929 for the Economic Journal and developed the Hotelling model of spatial competition. This helps explain what's going on. We assume that there are two firms in the model selling homogeneous products, and the only factors affecting a consumer's decision to visit a certain store is their proximity to it. Let's simplify the explanation and suggest that the hardware stores can locate anywhere along this road that goes through town. There are an infinite amount of solutions to this game, and this is an example of one of them. The two firms, Mr. Blue and Mr. Pink, place themselves with equal distance from the centre and the very end of the road. This way they have equal market share, and the maximum distance any consumer has to drive to a store is minimised. This is a socially optimal solution. A Nash equilibrium is a set of strategies, one for each player, such that no player has an incentive to deviate given what the other player is doing. Our example is not a Nash equilibrium. This is because either player can improve their strategy by deviating from their current position. Here's why. Let's say Mr. Pink moves towards Mr. Blue across the centre line. This gives him all the consumers to the right of him, so Mr. Blue only has the consumers that are to his left, and they share the consumers that are in between them. Mr. Blue doesn't mind though. He decides to move to the right of Mr. Pink, taking all the customers to the right, and now Mr. Pink's market share is substantially decreased. If Mr. Pink decides to set up the shop in the centre, he can definitely secure 50% of the consumers for himself. If Mr. Blue stays where he is, only 25% of the market share is secure for him. So where will they remain? They both decide to set up shop in the centre next to each other. Now they have secured an equal share of the consumers. Mr. Blue is happy and Mr. Pink is happy. But this is not the socially optimal solution, but it is a Nash equilibrium, because at this point no player can profit by deviating from their current strategy. However, the maximum distance any consumer is from the stores is not minimised. What can we learn? Customers like our gardener would be better off if the hardware stores are spread across the town. However, this would leave our firms vulnerable to the aggressive competition tactics of other firms. In reality, firms use strategies such as product differentiation and advertising to influence the consumer's decision to buy. But when something is a necessity, like our stopcock here, location is the only influence.